Hello guys and welcome to episode 22 of my Total War Warhammer 2 playthrough, playing as the Vampire Counts, or the Von Carsteins, on very hard difficulty. This is Mortal Empires and we're going for world domination, and today it starts with the attack on Hergig and the deletion of Middenland. So yeah, we're good to go. Let's fight this on the battle map. Vlad's army certainly had an upgrade. We're no longer relying on skeleton spearmen and skeleton warriors. We have a lot of graveguard, and that makes these settlement battles a million times easier, because the graveguard with great weapons will actually kill stuff on the walls rather than just hold them there. What I will have to do eventually, though, is probably trade out the skeleton warriors and the black knights or something. But I don't think I have to worry about like unit ranks too much. The great thing about Vlad is he sort of trains up troops so damn quickly. Right, let's just do this. We'll just take this entire wall. Going to get all these lot together, and we are going to hit the walls. Let's go and hide our horses. That's good. Okay, I'll try and remember to use them this time. Let's start the deployment, start the battle. Have our graveguard start to head towards these walls. It's like there's not going to be enough room to even climb all of the walls. That's interesting. Have some go up on the far side. Now, they do have a Hellstorm rocket battery, which I might want to go and deal with, so we're just going to go and fly and take that out. I'm not actually going to care about the missile forces on the walls. I'm just going to invocate.
Vlad von Carstein. Darkness reigns.
Usually we'd sort of stop a lot of this initial missile fire by having the Vargeist go and attack. But I think this Hellstorm rocket battery might actually do quite a lot of damage, so I'm just going to go and take that out. It might also pull some of the men away from the walls. So far it's actually been missing quite a lot, but that's fine. Now what was interesting there is they hit us as we were coming down with some of those rockets, so did quite a little bit of damage. Yeah, as long as I get rid of the Hellstorm rocket battery, I am absolutely fine with this engagement. Right, invocate these guys before they get up onto the walls. Should help them out quite a bit. Okay, the Hellstorm rocket battery has been dealt with. I want to get the rest of these up into the air now. And we're going to get the hell out of there. Great. So we're slowly getting through the gates here. Let's get some of these graveguards start heading towards the center. Since I don't think I need them all to attack the units on the walls here. I'm going to bring these Vargeists over. We're going to give them an invocation and then they can dive into this melee on the walls. Just kill off this Hellstorm rocket battery. That is fine. There goes the invocation. And then we'll dive into those handgunners. Brilliant. The Graveguard have actually taken quite a lot of damage, but... or at least the Graveguard with great weapons have. But I'm sure they're doing as much back. Watch them as they engage. These crossbowmen getting absolutely carved to pieces. One thing I do find is these like standard Graveguard just do so damn well. Like, they are just straight up anti-infantry. They just counter like Empire infantry so well. Trouble is with the Graveguard with great weapons is they don't have as good defense, which is what makes them suffer a little bit.
The world is mine. Blood Knights.
Right, let's move the Blood Knights back a little bit. The gates are dealt with now anyway. Time for Vlad to just take out Boris. And also put the enfeebling foe onto him as well. He is just going to get destroyed with that being the case.
Hungry for blood.
The Vargeists aren't doing too much, so let's bring them over for an engagement here into these great swords.
I'm in your thrall. All life must end.
Right, Boris is doing a runner. What about these guys on the walls? Oh, they're not doing too well. Let's have them come off the walls. And then we can actually use an invocation on them. Same with these ones, actually. Was that a chain route? I think it is. Okay, that's good. I'm just going to get all of the units to group up again. And we're going to get a couple of invocations down.
Vlad von Carstein.
I think a lot of them are having their orders cancelled by the fleeing units. Oh, I don't even have enough reserve to get this done. Oh, that was a waste of time. Oh well, we'll carry on. Probably should have noticed that sooner. Never mind. All of the units stayed alive, so we will get some decent replenishment. We are going to occupy this, I think. Because it is over 50% vampiric corrupted already. The sack will probably be worth a lot though, which makes it tempting. The trouble is, if we sack, is we lose a lot of the growth. And growth is probably one of the biggest things that holds you back in Warhammer. Yeah, it's worth 12,000. We're just going to occupy it.
want their souls.
Midland has been destroyed.
Vlad von Carstein.
Max out Darkling Skies, and we have our vampire here. Is maxed out Pit of Shades. I think we're just going to go towards Safeguard. An extra 6 armor. Not too bad. This guy's leveled up. Let's give him Darkling Skies as well. We'll put the remainder of the points into that. So I think it'll be useful for if he ever actually attacks in the future. One cool thing about these vampire lords is they can eventually get zombie dragons. Very, very cool indeed. Right, let's upgrade Waldenhof. Next turn, we'll start saving for these bigger buildings. I was already going to save this turn, but I forgot that Waldenhof could be upgraded, so we're going to do that while we can, and whilst I remember. Then the turn. The only thing I really care about is where Hochland goes. They are actually taking attrition from just standing outside their settlement, which is funny. Probably due to our vampiric corruption, especially considering it's over 50% now. They probably don't take as much because it's very hard AI. Now Brass Keep's more or less completely undefended. They just walked away from it, which means I can probably just go and take it. We can move Vlad to Middenheim. And then they quite simply are dead. Confederation. Time for us to declare on Brass Keep. Oh, I can't actually do it. For real? I mean, I can declare, but I'm not in range to attack. What a bummer.
Lord of the Night.
Alright. Well, I guess what we're going to do here, since we have the money at the moment, is build the Ghost Fence. I'm going to get rid of the Ancient Armory, and we're going to get the Balefire Brazier. Also, since I don't want to recruit any more men at Middenheim for the time being, other than maybe some Graveguard for Isabella, could probably get rid of this. And we can get rid of the Binding Circle at least. I think I'm going to keep the Ancient Armory and the Mausoleum, so I can get a few Graveguard for Isabella and replace these skeletons and the Crypt Ghouls. I might also be tempted to replace some of the Fellbats, but they are really good with 75 melee defense. It's actually scarily good. And Vlad can't reach Brass Keep either. We can, however, reach Wolfenburg.
Cower before me.
Let's move towards Middenheim this turn.
Into darkness.
Reason being, I want to be able to take on this Hochland army if I need to. And the remaining cash we have think can be saved. We're going to need a little bit more, and then we'll upgrade Isleheart actually. Let's move on. I do actually need to move my Banshee back up towards us rather than continuing through the desert. I might have the Banshee go through the mountains actually and find out exactly what sort of progress the dwarves are making.
Welcome. Sit by my side and let us
The Ark in the Black would like a defensive alliance. They are actually defensively allied with Gerhardt's mercenaries, which is something. But I don't think I want a defensive alliance at the moment. Not until we're down into the desert. It's completely pointless. It just puts us in a position where potentially we'll end up with end up at war with a nation down there, and then they'll commit like 2 armies to just come up and attack us for no reason. We're not going to tempt fate. I could probably do this entire campaign without having any defensive allies, honestly, because you kind of need to as the vampires. Yeah, let's get up into these mountains. And we demolish these buildings. So here I'm going to get the Balefire Brazier, and here we are going to get the walls. You also need to get the walls further down here. And I think I might put the cash into the Murky Harbour actually, but I've got enough to build up the gold mine. Oh, I'm already doing that. Okay. So do we just save it then? No, I think we do upgrade this, because this income is just actually snowballing quite well at the moment. So if we continue to reinvest it into stuff that gives us money, can't really go wrong. And what we can do is declare war on Hochland, and we're going to take Brass Keep. Thank you very much. Going to occupy that. We can then build up the corpse pile there in the next turn. This turn I'm just going to get the red pit, and due to us taking that from Hochland, they no longer have settlement, and that means that their army is going to take a ton of attrition. Good job, Isabella. We maxed out At Dawn They Sleep and the Ravening Beast. So now what do we want? Midnight's Children, right? For the extra melee attack for Vargeists and charge bonus. Vargeists are going to be so damn good in that army. I mean, they're already fantastic. With this lady, I think I'm just going to max out the Purple Sun of Zerus, so we get rid of the miscast chance. And then we'll go down the safeguard tree. So commandment is available in Hochland, that's going to be the public order. Let's change to the public order at Talabheim, because that's actually -3. I had it on tax rate. Everywhere else seems okay for now. Currently going up quite high in Kalak-Kadran. Kalak-Ungor, it's currently +8 per turn.
Von Carstein.
Good. So yeah, I think Vlad's going to have to stay here. But what we could do is potentially build some more Grave Guard. Not sure. No, I'm not going to bother. I have an unassigned skill point though on our White King. I think what I'm going to do is invest in Wound Maker first. So he does more damage. Okay, and now we'll end the turn. The only thing I'm expecting is like Hochland to attack Middenheim. If they do, we should be able to defend it quite easily. Now after Hochland's defeated, it might be time to finish off the dwarves. Because I don't really want to take the settlements from Nordland due to it putting us very close to Norska. And if Norska declares on us, we're in trouble because they're actually really strong at the moment. Or at least I think they are, because they have picked up a couple of confederations recently. Normally the only reason the AI does that is if they're really strong. We're going to take that public order, thank you very much. That brass keep, we're going to start building up that defense. Okay. Vampire leveled up. Let's get Dark Benediction. Great. Now it's time to delete Hochland once and for all. So we are going to sally forth for this attack. It should be a relatively simple one. Let's fight it on the battle map. So I can just charge towards them with the Grave Guard basically in a lovely long line, and then get the cavalry behind them, just sort of cycle charge them to oblivion. Auckland being picked on by all of the other Empire states, and now we just come through and annihilate them.
Vampire.
So that's pretty much it. We'll just have Black Knights up the top, Blood Knights down the bottom with some Black Knights. These guys in the mid. Put all of these into a group. Lock the group. Start the deployment, start the battle. And we'll just right click on the leader so that all of the men just start running forwards. And my corpse cart can move forwards a little bit. Not sure we're going to even need to use the reinforcements. I will order them to come over here, but yeah, like I said, whether or not we actually use them remains to be seen. We can probably just get my vampire right into the middle of these guys, right? And then if they surround her, we can just go for like a huge pit of shades. I might just do it anyway.
Swiftly. Blood magic.
Oh, that's gonna be nasty. Oh, the damage is unreal. Well, that is just not fair. It's crazy how much that does.
At once! I hunger!
Lord of the Dead!
Right, we're going to use the Wand of Jet because I do need a little bit more of the old Winds of Magic. I'm going to get these Fellbats over here. I haven't even used my Minvargeist. Why do I always forget something? I'm always playing on hard mode. I mean, we're already playing on very hard difficulty. I don't need to make it any harder. But for some reason, I always do. I'm just going to make sure that I'm running down units that are running away. I think that's pretty important.
End them!
Right, surely that's a chain route. And leader is just getting wrecked. Yeah, they're done. That is it. Okay, all my infantry, I'm just going to get to come together. We'll get some invocations going whilst we're waiting for these men to run them down. I'm gonna get some of my cav to just come back anyway. Okay, here goes. 20 seconds. We'll wait for the cooldown, we'll do it again. And that way we can move on next turn without having to worry. They all ended up getting to the edge of the map. But that's okay. I think Hochland will be killed off because of this. If not, then they don't have an army big enough to take any settlement, so I can probably just ignore them. Our vampire got 103 kills in that battle. That Vortex was so good. And that was only on like 2 units. Imagine if it was on like a clump of like 5 units or something. With that extra armor piercing damage on top, it just ripped through them. Right, so we'll just return the captives since we don't need the replenishment. And that is them dealt with. If we dump into diplomacy, how far are we from the
What? My hand hovers close to my blade.
treachery?
Utter your demand before
3
I raise it.
turns. It's not actually too bad.
King of Darkness, the world will be mine!
I'm just going to finish them off.
I am going.
Just makes things a lot simpler, doesn't it? Right. Time to
All shall
go and say hi to the dwarves, I think. Before we do, let's get Magical Animus done. We'll jump him into March Stance and we'll head over here. Yeah, I would wait for the attack on Nordland, but I'm not going to bother. Isabella can move on as well. We're going to just bring her back towards Waldenhof. And we'll actually have Isabella take Khazad-Urkalaz. By saying that, we might not need to. There's going to be a rebellion there soon. And the AI doesn't have an army, so that might actually succeed, which would be funny. Do I give her a horse? I think since she's a spellcaster, it's probably a good idea. So that's a yes. Weismund. Start to build those gates. And since we're not going to be building the troops here, we're just going to demolish these buildings and we'll get probably a Balefire Brazier and something else in Middenheim. Here at Helmgart, it'll probably be a good idea to just pick up like gibbets in all of these settlements, because there's nothing else I really need. I could build the Awakened Battlefields and then gibbets in like every single one of these, because I don't think we need any more Vampiric Corruption. That will be sorted when I upgrade the Witch House. We can keep this Wretched Farmstead because that gives us some income. Yeah, just getting Awakened Battlefields everywhere is probably a good idea. It gives us extra Graveguard for the garrisons, and also the Black Knights with Lances and Barding, as well as all of those actually really awesome provincial effects. So that might be part of my plan, just to make it really awkward for the AI to attack me ever. And then I can just remain aggressive for the most part. So let's get some gibbets built. And that will be 3,000 spent. Will give us an extra 300 income per turn once they are complete. Right. Unfortunately, it has been my time, so I'm going to have to leave it here. We've wiped out Hochland. And now we're going to be moving on, or moving back, to the dwarves. That is the plan. In the meantime, hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.